Hello everybody, it's me, and welcome back to another video. Now, in this video, we are going to be ranking all of the new fossil and technically soul burst Loomians that we have gotten with the UMV update. Now, since I've showcased all of them, I feel like I have kind of a decent understanding about how pretty much all of them work and how good they all are. And if you can't guess number one, then I failed you. But yeah, you know, I won't hold anyone here, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. But yeah, heading straight into it, we're going to be talking about the 8 new Loomians that we have gotten, and I'm going to be talking about, in my opinion, the worst one should be very obvious. I'm going to talk about not elect. Now, there is not much to be seen with not elect, to be honest. There's really not a whole lot. It's kind of just there. I don't know, like, it's Cosmeor at home, as Jamie would say. I don't think it's very good at all, and it's hard to make this thing good. Maybe if you gave it a water, maybe if you gave it Rust from Doodle World, it could be pretty decent, because then it has way to hit metals, but it's one of those things that's just very mid, and it's not good. Just never use not elect. It's not worth it, buddy. It's not worth it. But yeah, the next one I'm going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about Knockout. Now, yeah, the bottom two are the, I don't know what they're freaking, I know what they're called, but I don't know how to say it. Nautiluses? Nautiluses, I think that's it. Nautiluses. Those are the bottom two. In my opinion, it's fair. They are very lackluster, and I do think that Knockout is the better of the two, specifically because it has recovery with Vital Jab, plus I feel like it has the better of the two setup moves, you know? I feel like you more so want to boost your range defense rather than you want to boost your melee defense, because I guess I more prefer things with range defense rather than melee. So that's always been something I've preferred. But, and then, yeah, I don't really know what to say about Knockout. I mean, yeah, it has, like, Shadow Box, Wave Wrecker, Primal Slash, Vital Jab, you know, Viscous is kind of funny, though, because with Viscous, you just set up your, Shadow Box, and then you can't really be swapped out, you know? Like, I kind of like that about it, and it was like, that could be a gimmick, you know? Just something funny that it could do. But, yeah. And moving on from the Nautiluses, we're going to be talking about one of the dinosaurs, and that one is going to be YOOOO Typhoon. Now, I'm not saying YOOOO Typhoon's bad. I'm saying in comparison to these other things, I think it is a little worse. I don't know, because I feel its role that it has is a really, really good one. It's the only thing in the game currently that has access to petrifying. Technically, if you want to say surrogate users, then hey, you're weird. But YOOOO Typhoon has a nice gimmick of being able to lower the range attack of very offensive and scary things, such as Eruptodon. It acts as like that thing's absolute bully. It just bullies Eruptodon. And in general, it's just a very, it's solid, you know, it's pretty good. It is a nice support, offensive support option. You know, it has healing, it has provoke, it has okay coverage, but I don't know. It's definitely one of those things that right now it's not too great, but I feel like much like later in the game, it'll be much, much better. Because right now it's just not too great with like every range attacker being able to hit its typing super effectively. So it's not too great right now, but I do think it'll be much better later. But yeah, hopping to the next one, we're going to talk about our first Titan being Leviatros. Now, Leviatros is definitely the worst out of all the Titans, mostly because it doesn't really have that hard-hitting ability that Behemoth and Morphezu do. The thing with it is that it is really fast, you know? Set up your bulk up, and you're going to be looking solid with your Expert Onslaught. I do think that it on Rain is the best way to use it, because otherwise you are going to be running a bunch of water types that's like, what's the point at that point? Like, I feel like if you're going to be running Leviatros offensively, you should use Rain, because right now it might not be too great, but later once you get used to the calcs of the Rain, then it'll be much, much better. And yeah, it hits really hard with Expert Onslaught. Generally, it is a pretty strong late game cleaner, so it has that going for it. But I don't know, it's fun, and I think if you want to use it, hey, you're completely fine to do that. But yeah, then the next thing we're going to be talking about is going to actually be another Titan. which I'm going to go with Behemoth. Now, in my opinion, I did not really like Behemoth. When I used it, I did not like it. And maybe it's a thing that I never really clicked well with Earth types. You know, I've never clicked well with them. So it's probably a thing that I just had a little bias toward it here. But I don't really like it. I think it can hit really hard, but I feel like it's just lacking, you know? It has low range defense and like there's a bunch of range attackers right now, and a lot of which hit it super effectively. Like Glissadia can hit it super effectively. I do think that Boots is probably the best way to use Behemoth because it definitely wants to take advantage of it being that slow, or not slow. It wants to take advantage of it having that good speed tier to outspeed stuff. And, oh, God. It can be used pretty well in hyper offense paired with Gargoyle's speed as long as you don't sack off Gargoyle's speed immediately, because it would get a 100 base power, 40 energy costing move, which, hey, will be really good. And it's also stabs to be up to like what, 150, because stab, yeah, it would be like a 150 base power spammable stab. So it doesn't sound too bad, but I don't know, it did not click with me. But the next one we're going to be talking about is going to be Venusaur. Now, Venusaur, in my opinion, is pretty decent, right? I think Venomous is probably the better thing to use, because if you're going to be using the crit version of it, you kind of need to run Poison Barbs, which kind of limits it. Whereas Venomous, you can kind of slot it on anywhere. It also acts as a solid check to Tatab. So you have that going for it. And it's generally pretty interesting too, because I feel like it's one of those things that is actually better than what it seems. I don't know, because with Venomous you get to freely throw poison around pretty much everywhere, and if you're fighting another poison type, it's like, oh, bye. So it's not really good into other poison types, but the most popular ones like Diborg, I feel like Diborg's pretty popular, like Venilin and stuff. Those you can actually do okay against, because you have Barb Trap, which is also nice, because if you get hit with a contact move, it'll poison them. So you have that going for it. So you basically can throw out a lot of poisons without there being much to do against it. Especially if you just, I don't know, it's just solid overall. And I feel like it is a good bring for your team if you're planning on bringing something that you want to just throw poisons around with, you know? But yeah, the next one, we're getting into the top two, which as soon as I say this one, you're probably going to know what it is. I'm going to be talking about Skellic. Now, in my opinion, Solber Skellic, sheesh. I really like the thing. It feels like it can just absolutely go crazy pretty much no matter what happens. Because you click Drudge and you benefit, right? It has bulk, so it can live any hit. It has a really good ability, especially once rain becomes more accessible. And then rain teams in general just become better. And then it has pivot options. It has good coverage. And then you just click Drudge and you benefit. Every time you click Drudge, something is going to happen that you are happy about. Like, no matter what, it's amazing. Like, the fact that Skeleton can just sit there, click Drudge, and it's like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like, yeah, send your Obsidian in. Wow, I'm taking 30% from Primal Slash, and then I'm doing 50% to you. You get your +1. Oh, man. But you're benefiting from that, right? And then if the Obsidian clicks Beast Slumber, you just start clicking Drudge. And then you can click Drudge again to then outspeed pretty much every single boot user in the entire game. Like, just think about that. You would outspeed every single boots user in the game after 2 Drudges. And then you're pretty much going to one-shot everything in the game. So you have just an incredible... You just have something really good going for you. You know? Had to do something real quick. But, yeah, overall, like... It's just great. The fact you just click it, and then you pop off, and then you can also use it under rain. I feel like a brawny one under rain would be really, really solid, because then you just get to... it just seems great. Like, you just use Skellic, and you're going to benefit, because you just click Drudge, and then, not even talking about the base form of Skellic, which sometimes can even get an extra +2 boost for you. You basically are just going to get a completely free boost, no matter what happens. It's just awesome. Like, you switch in on Mud Spatter, oh no, you switch in on Baffle. Once Baffle gets reworked, oh my god, you're going to get +3 pretty much for free. And then you click Drudge, right? And Sober Skellig actually has bulk, so it's not going to be dying in one hit usually. Like, it's going to be surviving for a while, and you are not going to have a good time trying to fight it. And it's just an insane Loomian overall. But yeah, we are moving on to the last one, which if you were paying attention, you will know I'm going to be talking about Morphezu. I don't really know how to explain Morphezu because it's just great. You know, like, I feel like it's definitely feels like one of the better ones. I feel like it's really close between Skellig and Morphezu because they both do so well. You gust with Morphezu, get your speed boost, you have speed everything, you peace of mind, you're incredibly hard to break. And then on top of that, you can brute force through resists, right? Yeah, you're an air type. Yes, things resist you, like ice and metal types, you know? Yeah, Metal Blast, which hits those ice types. Oh no, there's a metal type staring you down that resists both your air and your metal moves. You can brute force your way through that metal type. Most metal types in the game, I feel like, are usually ranged. There's Valkyrie, there's Stratosaur, there's what? I can't remember any other metal types right now. But usually, you can break your way through them, right? It takes like one piece of mind and you're going to late game clean. You know, like this thing is just great. And that's not even talking about Expert Onslaught, which just gets to sky high limits. So you have one air type teammate, like a Gargolem Defense, for example. Boom. Suddenly, this is a 150 base power move, including stab and the multipliers. And it just is so strong. And most of the time, you're not going to be prepared to deal with one because you're going to have to be dealing with, usually barbs will be up, you know, to make progress. And it's just going to hit you so hard and you're not going to be able to stop it. Plus, you're not going to be able to one-shot it half the time with your range attacks because it has an insane amount of range defense, being 100 and then 115 health on top of that. It's going to be living pretty much any hit, and then it's going to blow you up. There's not much that you can do if a Morphezu click Gust or Peace of Mind because then it's going to outspeed you, then it can pick whatever it wants to do after that. And on top of that, it can Slumber. So if you're running a more defensive set, you can heal up to max health. Even do some weird mysterious dust shenanigans. You can do a lot of things with it. And it's just crazy. But yeah, I think I will leave the list up on screen now if you wanted to just take a look at it. But yeah, hopefully that you all enjoyed. And let me know what you would actually rank all of these guys. And with all that being said, I will see everyone in the next one. Bye-bye.